Kevin said, what kind of racism would you say is thriving the most? The kind that takes the most fringe people of a population, good or bad, and then uses those people to indict the entire population. This is called a hasty generalization fallacy. So within towards Jewish people right now, what you're seeing on the right and on the left, but a lot on the right, is you'll see people that'll point out that, Jewish people, they control this industry, they control that industry, they control this industry. They're controlling everything from the banks to corn. This was being alleged. And therefore, look how evil and maniacal these people are, right? That's what's happening on the right within that. If you're talking about like actual racism, you'll take very fringe cases of a violent attack, like this poor kid that got killed in Frisco, and people will take that, and then someone like Matt Walsh will say, and now therefore black men are just more violent. Mm-hmm. Like that is racist. Like you're saying that this type of person is violent without any context of that these crimes, and I did the math on these, and maybe we should go over them sometime, is less than 0.1% of the population commits violent crimes in the black community. So what you're doing is you're taking this horrible thing that happened, and then you're using that as a hasty generalization fallacy to then indict black culture or Jewish culture. It's a cultural thing. It's Jewish culture. It's black culture. And the reality is that no culture is a monolith. Jews aren't a monolith. Black people aren't a monolith. White people aren't a monolith. And that's the type of stuff that I'm seeing kind of creep up. And so they won't say, they won't overtly say we think black people are genetically inferior or Jewish people are genetically inferior or more sinful or more uniquely sinful. What they'll say is it's a culture thing. The issue is the conflation of very specific pockets of culture that are doing very specific things that are dangerous, and then using those things to hyper generalize an entire demographic of people. That's what I mean by race. And I do think that's race. If you're looking at the most fringe, again, it would be like me saying, hey, because white men are more likely to commit DUIs, more likely to become serial killers, more likely to become school shooters, more likely to commit animal cruelty, more likely to have sex with an animal, therefore it does an indictment and white culture is corrupt. Like that sounds stupid.
Well, the crazy part is too is that like a Matt Walsh would say when Kamala Harris made the mayonnaise joke to Tim Walz,
he would say that's racist.
He will. People. And again, that's just complete and utter blatant racism towards white people, but the left would never admit that because apparently it can only be racist to black people, right? Like he would say that.
And there's a word for this, by the way.
And that's not even like. So I'm saying, even by his standard in which he would call something, he's actually kind of doing that towards black people. And so it's like, and this is the most annoying part. You can't make the movie Am I Racist as the trump card to be like, no, I've already addressed that, like, I'm dead. So everything I say now is completely in the clear. It's like, I thought it was pretty simple. Like, I was with you on the movie. Right,
good movie, really good movie.
Yep. Don't lynch black people. Don't assume people are inherently anything because of their skin color. Assume we're all human. Pretty easy to abide by, right? Or let's go even one step further. There's no actual laws stopping anybody from doing anything in the United States. Awesome. Okay, we're all on the same page. Just do those things. But then like this comes around, and now it's like, well, it needs to be talked about. You are 28%. You're 28 times more likely to be killed by, if you're a white guy, to be killed by a black guy than a white guy. And it's like, oh, okay. So now we're all you had to do is not use mold statistics for your own narrative.
Well, even as statistics, you can, again, I can finesse statistics
that's what I'm
to
saying,
make
for your
white
narrative,
men look like crazy people.
Yes,
I wouldn't do that. Like that's dumb. Like why are you're manipulating? And the statistics he's using are outdated. This whole idea, black men are 6% of the population, commit 50% of the violent crimes. That's bad math. You can look it up. The FBI has reflected that. It's 26%. So yes, it's still disproportionate. It's still a high amount. But then you got to get into the weeds of where are these crimes committed? Who are they being committed against? Now, if you want to make an indictment on intercity black and brown drill gangster culture, right? We could talk about that. That's a different conversation. I would agree that a lot of the drill stuff that's coming out is demonic. Like, I think that stuff is actually demonic.
Yeah.
Right? That's not what's being said. It's young black men are disproportionately more violent. It's like, no, young black men in inner city communities living in proximity to other young black men towards other black men who are affiliated with a street element are violent.
And so
that's not all black men.
And so that's something where I'm like, I'm not even from the position that, oh, you're a white guy, you can't talk about this. This is for the black community to handle their own.
No, talk about it.
Talk about it. Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But say that.
Yes. Be specific. Be very specific with what you're saying.
Because it is a little bit, and I know someone said, like, I think deep down he's just being facetious. It's like, yes, of course.
He's trying to get, I don't know what he's being. I don't want to assume his motives.
I'm going to say, I'm going to be charitable and say, I'm assuming he doesn't dislike black people, right? Like, that's pretty, like, standard nowadays.
Sure.
But what I'm saying is that, like, you also have to realize that when you communicate things, it's fodder for the Nick Fuentes adjacent folk that are like, man, it seems like everyone was calling Nick racist, but now it seems like even the people I agree with, like Matt Walsh, are starting to agree with some of his points too. So maybe Nick is right all along. You see what I'm saying? It's a pipeline. So it is a pipeline. It's not that this person is that person that Matt Walsh deep down is racist, but it's that, like, okay, when you're not saying things specifically and you're kind of just being jokes, you have to acknowledge that you're pushing people towards a path. It is like, and I'm making a lot of Matt Walsh specific claims here. It is like saying that when the liberals are saying Trump is a fascist and he needs to be taken out, otherwise we're gonna end democracy, and then drawing that correlation to assassination attempts, making that correlation. They're not saying assassinate Trump, but there is a pipeline.
They're creating a pipeline.
And he points that pipeline out.
Yep.
I'm saying the same way that is possible. Yes. Yeah, your words can create a pipeline for people to go there, and that's not soft.
Yes.
That's not snowflake.
What it's called.
That's not wokeness.
What it's called is the woke right. That's what you're describing. It's a victim mentality on the woke right, connected to replacement theory, being afraid as a white dude, and that is what's happening.
Yeah.
Why do you assume Matt Walsh was joking? I'm not assuming Matt Walsh was
joking.
No,
not joking. I just said I don't think deep down, I'm going to be charitable. I don't think deep down he dislikes black people. I'm not saying he's joking. I'm saying he's being, I think he thinks
black culture enables or promotes black men to be more violent.
I think he said something like this. They have a problem.
Yeah.
And they need to fix it.
And I think what he misses is there's way more middle class and upper middle class and black people with fathers in the home and Christian black families than he could imagine.
Yeah.
The vast majority of our black friends all have dads.
That's a fact.
Right?
Yes.
All have dads. Yes. All have moms.
Our dads.
Still married. Our dads.
Yeah.
Right? And even some of them that grew up in the hood, just those variables alone.
Yep.
Having fathers will prevent you, if you're in those environments, from getting sucked into the area, those things in those environments.
Yep.
That's the majority of our black friends. So, so now again, if you reduce those down to say there are a specific type of issue with specific type of communities, now we're being more specific. And yes, that could be a different conversation, and that conversation should happen.
Yeah.
And there's a plethora of variables in that. But what it does is it takes that and then it just generalizes. It just says all young black men. That was his tweet. Those were his words. And when you do the math, and I did the math, 20 million black men in America, approximately, maybe 19 million, right? 200,000 violent crime convictions a year. Run the math on that.
Yeah.
Of black men. Run the math on that. 20 million, 200,000. That's 0.01%.
Come on.
That's not a epidemic, an indictment of all black men.
Yes.
That's no. Those numbers, if we did the same thing for white folks, you wouldn't be like, this is a thing. You know what I mean?
You could argue that crime is going to happen anyways with communities that are in a struggling socioeconomic class.
Yes.
And it happens to be disproportionately
towards
black.
Towards their own people.
Man, but I'm talking about community struggling struggling socioeconomic groups tend to be more black because of stuff from the past, right?
Yes.
Erase all the American history and say black people never even arrived here. There's still going to be a lower struggling economic class, and let's pretend they're all white people. I would believe that you would still have 200,000 crimes.
Yeah.
But
And
they
that's
would
just that, by the way, that 200,000 crimes is just the ones that are black men convicted of those crimes out of 20 million.
Yeah. And so my point being that like, I think it's just, there's a disproportionate amount of socioeconomic struggles that happen in those communities that if you were to erase their skin color, it would be more related to their environments. So if it was just white people in there, we would still have the same. You would still have the bottom % of criminals.
Yeah. So check this out. So, but did any of them donate for the? Not the same as doing it themselves, but still a cultural problem. So here's the issue with that.
Yeah.
Here's the issue with that. One, Black Twitter and the people that are donating to this young man's defense is not Black culture. Like that's that's chronically online brain.
How much of those people do you think are Black? Or
Well, one, how much of those people are Black? I don't know. Let's just call it 95%.
like how much of it is New York white liberal women?
Let's just call it
leftist?
95%. Let's just call 95% Black and 5% liberal white elite.
Okay.
That's still not a big enough sample size to indict Black culture.
Yeah.
Okay. Two, there have been questionable things that have happened. I'm not making a verdict on these things or not. I thought Kyle Rittenhouse had a grounds for self-defense.
I agree.
Right? I think George Zimmerman, way more murky.
I was too young.
Okay.
But I would probably say not.
People donated to those funds. People donated to their legal funds.
Yes.
In a situation like this, why would you not want someone to have proper legal representation? If there's a history, if he didn't initiate contact, I don't think this was self-defense. But why would you not want someone to have a defense fund? And if people want to donate to that, that becomes an issue. It's like we were okay with Kyle Rittenhouse having funds donated, as he should have. I think Kyle Rittenhouse was innocent.
Yeah.
I think he probably shouldn't have gone there with an unregistered firearm, and I could pick that apart.
And being under the age in which you can carry a firearm.
I could pick that apart.
Yeah.
But I think he committed self-defense.
100%.
And I'm okay with people donating to that.
Yes.
Like, I'm okay. That doesn't make them racist.
Yeah.
That's not an indictment on white culture. Like, that's like, yeah, that kid deserves a shot at a defense.
Yeah.
Right? Now, again, I think this is a little different. And so it's not a one-for-one comparison. So anyway, let's move on. Hey, thank you so much for checking out the video. Please be sure to comment below and subscribe and all that good stuff. And check out this other video that YouTube seems to be recommending just for you. Let me know if they nailed it. All right? I'll see you over there. Peace.